Hello, hope I am live. Are you people able to hear me or not? Can you type in the chat box? Am I audible to all of you or not? Am I audible to all of you or not? Can I type in the chat box? Am I audible to all of you? Can you type in the chat box? Now, guys, today we're going to talk about a very important CLAT PG topic that is related to abortion. Now, abortion के बारे में आज हम लोग जानेंगे. Recently, Supreme Court pronounced a judgment regarding abortion. Now, it is not about recently. Last few years, there's too many cases related to abortion that we need to understand. Okay, abortion से related बहुत सारे case laws आए हैं, and abortion is one of the important subjects that we need to discuss today. Now, why abortion is such an important topic? The reason is very simple. There are so many frequent changes that we have seen in Supreme Court understanding and reasoning. There's so many conflicts that we have seen with the High Court judgment and the Supreme Court judgment in relation to abortion. That's why abortion becomes very, very important for ourselves to understand. Okay. Now, abortion के मामले में, ठीक है, कुछ चीज हम लोग डायरेक्टली लॉ जानेंगे और रिसेंटली जो केस हुआ है उसके बारे में थोड़ा जानेंगे. एंड व्हाट इज द मेन क्राइटेरिया अबाउट एबॉर्शन दैट वी नीड टू नो. ओके, इट्स नॉट ए वेरी बिग टॉपिक टू कवर अप, but definitely an important topic to cover up in coming days for CLAT PG 2025. Okay. Now, one very interesting part that we need to understand now, abortion. Abortion के बारे में अगर मैं बताऊं, which law is directly connected to the abortion? कौन सा law abortion के साथ directly connect करता है? And if I ask you, any one of you, you will say that sir, abortion के बारे में अगर हम लोग जाने हैं, that is in Indian Penal Code. Yeah, you are absolutely right. आप Indian Penal Code में abortion या miscarriage के बारे में शायद you might have read it. Now, could you please tell me what is the section number? You can pause this video and write in the chat box what is the section number related to miscarriage that you have heard about abortion or miscarriage. I'm going to share the screen with you and I'm going to explain each and everything regarding that. ठीक है, मैं उसके बारे में बात करूंगा आप लोगों को. And may entirety of the law, not the Indian Penal Code. I'm going to talk about entirety of the law that is important regarding the abortion that we're going to talk about today. ठीक है? So पहले हम लोग Indian Penal Code में जाते हैं and उसके बारे में बात करते हैं. Now, Indian Penal Code में अगर आप देखोगे, one very important aspect regarding miscarriage that is found around section 312. If I am not wrong, you might also have found in your Bear Act. ठीक है, क्रिमिनल लॉ के बेयर एक्ट में आपको शायद वो मिल चुका है कि 312 में आपके मिसकैरेज है. ठीक है, अगर नहीं है, ओपन योर बेयर एक्ट, यू विल गेट टू अंडरस्टैंड. ठीक है, मैं इसके साथ साथ आप लोगों को दिखाने के लिए मैं गूगल में 312 एक बार खोल लेता हूं. ठीक है, सो दैट आई विल बी एबल टू एक्सप्लेन यू बेटर एंड यू विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड बेटर. ठीक है, सो आई एम सर्चिंग 312 and I've got it and I'm just going to share the screen with you and you'll be able to understand this 312. And miscarriage is also one of the option. That is easy one. ठीक है, but abortion laws के बारे में अगर हम लोग जानेंगे, ठीक है, तो section 312, there are other sections also. 312 is there, 313, 314, 315, 316, all those sections are there. हम लोग उतना नहीं जानेंगे क्योंकि we are directly understanding the abortion in relation to a case which has recently happened. ठीक है, तो जितना जरूरी है हम लोग उतना ही जानेंगे, सिंपली. ओके, सो चलो मैं अभी आपके साथ स्क्रीन शेयर करता हूं और मैं आपको दिखाता हूं व्हाट एक्चुअली ऑल दिस ऑल अबाउट. ठीक है, आई होप इट्स विजिबल टू ऑल ऑफ यू. ठीक है, ये आप लोग के सामने मैं स्क्रीन शेयर किया हूं. आई होप इट्स विजिबल टू ऑल ऑफ यू. ओके. नाउ इस पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन में सेक्शन 312 इज बेसिकली टॉकिंग अबाउट कॉजिंग मिसकैरेज. ठीक है. नाउ आप इस सेक्शन को अगर देखोगे, दिस सेक्शन, ठीक है, दिस सेक्शन is pretty much easier to understand. Okay, but this is a random website. You can open in any other website. That's totally up to you. Now, what is miscarriage? If you see, I can show it to you. Okay, miscarriage is a whoever voluntarily causes a woman with child to miscarry. Okay, woman with child. Okay, matlab woman who is pregnant, and there is certain time limit of the pregnancy that is very much important in abortion, which I'm going to talk about. There is certain other legislation which is related to abortion, जिसके बारे में बात करूंगा. If such miscarriage be not caused in good faith, so one of the very important term here is good faith that you need to understand. ठीक है, अगर आप लॉ समझना है तो इसको समझना है, और इस गुड फेथ का आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन ज्यादा कुछ इस आईपीसी में नहीं मिलेगा. ठीक है, आपको the another legislation that I'm going to talk about next, there you are going to find the good faith, the definition of good faith there. आपको वहां पर good faith का actual definition मिलेगा. Definition in the sense proper explanation, not the definition per se what generally section 2 of any particular legislation provides. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं. सेक्शन वहां पर गुड फेथ के बारे में आपको बेहतर जान पहचान मिलेगा. गुड फेथ क्या है, किस सिचुएशन को गुड फेथ कहता है, तब आपको पता चलेगा उसके बारे में. ठीक है. Now, if you understand here, okay, if such miscarriage be not caused in good faith for the purpose of saving the life of woman, so what is the main line of sentence here? Okay, whatever is happening, the purpose of saving the life of woman is of utter importance. ठीक है. The if a woman with child is going to miscarry, in that case the importance of the life of the woman is very much utmost priority. ठीक है, उसके ऊपर कुछ नहीं है. ठीक है. So here that is the only one exception that has been given in the section 312. Otherwise the miscarriage or the abortion is an offense under Indian Penal Code. ठीक है, Indian Penal Code के अंदर ये एक offense है. Otherwise such miscarriage be not caused in good faith for the purpose of saving the life of simple. Okay, तो इसके लिए कितना साल का सजा हो सकता है आपको? may extend to 3 years. Now this is the 1860 Indian Penal Code that talks about. Now generally abortion in India, okay, it was an offense till the time till 1971 came into the picture. क्यों सर 1971 में ऐसा क्या हुआ जो abortion का जो dynamics है that has changed? Now if you have to understand the abortion, you have to understand the one very important legislation. ठीक है, that is the MTP Act. ठीक है, MTP Act में आपको abortion के बारे में और ज्यादा डिटेल में पता चलेगा. The good faith that I was talking about, उस good faith के बारे में और ज्यादा पता चलेगा, और आपको इसके लॉ के बारे में पता चलेगा. And I told you the law is not very difficult, but the ping pong situation between the High Court and Supreme Court in various cases, that actually made the abortion laws very very interesting. ठीक है, क्योंकि आपको कुछ cases में दिखेगा they are basically restricting the abortion. Okay, in some cases Supreme Court saying no, abortion is the permission of abortion is given. Okay, so this is the very interesting situation that happens in any of the abortion cases. ठीक है, तो ये जो हम लोग लेजिस्लेशन के बारे में बात करेंगे, लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड दिस लेजिस्लेशन. दिस लेजिस्लेशन में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट जो चीज है, व्हाट इज द लेजिस्लेशन नेम सर? लेजिस्लेशन नेम, एक सेकंड, दैट्स ऑल. Legislation name is MTP Act. MTP Act 1971 is the legislation name. Now, what is the MTP Act? Medical termination of pregnancy. That is the legislation name. Medical termination of pregnancy is the legislation name. That is the important one to understand. Now, medical termination of pregnancy क्या है sir? Medical termination of pregnancy, by the name itself you are understanding, it is nothing but it's a termination of pregnancy. Yeah, if any woman who is pregnant who wants to terminate the pregnancy, okay, then this particular legislation comes into picture. बहुत simple है, इसमें कोई rocket science नहीं है MTP Act में. When and who, these are the very important aspects. Who in the relation, not the woman with child I'm talking about. Who I'm talking about, the medical practitioners who actually consented or given the permission to basically कि आप miscarriage कर सकते हो, ठीक है? That is very important here. The registered medical practitioners, RMP, is a one very important ingredient here, RMP. And the second very important part is the good pay, okay? And also women that I was talking about, women with child, iska elaborate description can be found in MTP Act. Okay? Who are these women with child who are not basically who are not or who are getting a leeway under the MTP Act? किसको मौका मिल रहा है इस मामले में, ठीक है? तो MTP Act becomes very very important. Now coming to the very important aspect, और मैं थोड़ा शेयर करता हूँ आप लोगों के साथ MTP Act, ठीक है? तब तक अगर आप लोगों के पास कुछ query है, anything that you want to know and how is the preparation going on, then kindly type in the chat box, okay? आप आपके chat box में लिखो, तब तक मैं MTP Act को सर्च करके आपके सामने रखता हूँ. 1 second. Now I hope whatever I have shared with you, you have understood. If you haven't, feel free to comment below so that I can make you understand. Okay. Acha. MTP Act 1970. Now MTP Act 1971 has been recently been amended also, which I am going to talk about here as well. क्योंकि MTP Act बहुत important है और जो recent amendment वो भी बहुत important है आप लोगों के लिए, ठीक है? क्योंकि बिना amendment का तो changes will not be able to understand. Okay. अच्छा. Here the Amendment Act is getting downloaded. Wait for a minute. I'm just downloading the things. Okay. Now here. So look at this. Now you can understand this very important part. I have shared the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act is with you. Okay. Now the most important section that you have to understand here in the registered medical Termination of Pregnancy Act, that is definitely related to section 3. Okay. Section 3 is the most important section that you have to understand here. Now, why section 3 is the most important section? The section 3 is the most important section in relation to one very important aspect, that is when the pregnancies may be terminated. Now, you have seen the women with child have the permission to miscarry. Important. But who have been given the permission and when the pregnancy termination can be given and what are the situations cannot be given, इसके बारे में section 3 talks about. इसीलिए section 3 बहुत important हो जाता है आप लोगों के लिए. Section 3 के बारे में देखते हैं थोड़ा. So section 3, notwithstanding anything, look at this, the first very notwithstanding anything contained in Indian Penal Code which is related to section 312, okay, 2316, whatever that I am talking about, उसको हटाते हुए a registered medical practitioner shall not be guilty of any offence under the code. So the registered medical practitioners who is going to basically suggest whether the miscarriage or the miscarriage is to be continued with that woman with child or not, in that case, that registered medical practitioners will not be liable. Okay? So registered medical practitioner will not be liable or will not be guilty of the offense of miscarriage, causing miscarriage basically, under any law, if he is basically here, two very important suggestions have been given or important part have been given here. Pregnancy may be terminated by registered medical practitioners where the length of pregnancy does not exceed 20 weeks if such medical practitioner is, or where the length of pregnancy exceeds 20 weeks but does not exceed 24 weeks. In case of such category, may be prescribed by the rules. 2 medical practitioners are needed. So pregnancy can be terminated if the pregnancy is less than 12 weeks, one medical practitioner is needed. One medical registered medical practitioner is needed. If the pregnancy is beyond 12 weeks, pregnancy and less than 20 weeks, then in that case, two registered medical practitioners permission are needed. Okay. So here the one very important aspect is that this rule has been changed in 2021 amendment. 2021 में एक amendment आया था या और इस law को basically change कर दिया गया जो 1971 में था. So 2021 में जो amendment आया उसमें basically ये change किया nothing but कि this one registered medical practitioners अभी 20 weeks तक देख सकता है. पहले क्या था 12 weeks. Okay. अभी one registered medical practitioners can carry out the examination in relation to the woman with child for if she is up to 20 weeks in the gestational period. Okay. So अभी ये 20 weeks तक कर दिया गया है, whereas 20 weeks to 20 weeks to 24 weeks have been exceeded. In that case, that has been given. In that case, two medical practitioners' help will be taken. Two registered medical practitioners' help has been taken. So मैं थोड़ा दोबारा बोल देता हूँ what are the changes so that you will not be able to understand this thing. मैं दोबारा बोल देता हूँ आप लोगों को क्या changes है. मैं इसको delete करता हूँ. What was the previous change? Previous was 12 weeks. Okay, for one registered medical practitioners. Here now 12 weeks changed to 20 weeks for one registered medical practitioners. ये change कब आया है? 2021 amendment में आया है. Okay. Now और क्या changes हुआ है? 20 weeks to 24 weeks के बीच में जो आएगा that is related to two medical practitioners. Okay. तो ये रहेगा major changes that have been there in relation to this particular act. Did you understand? If you haven't, type below in the comment box if you haven't understood. So I'll just let you know in the comment box if you haven't. अच्छा, चलो अभी next जो part है उसको समझते हैं. अभी तो ये समझ गए हम लोग. Next जो बहुत important चीज है उसके बारे में समझते हैं. अच्छा. Now, how to form the good faith? I show you in the 312 के good faith के बारे में. Now, how to form the good faith? Here, that's a very important concept that you need to understand. Now, good faith can be deduced. Okay, or the medical practitioners have formed the opinion in good faith if the continuance of pregnancy would involve a risk of life of pregnant woman or of grave injury to her physical or mental health. Okay. So in relation to physical and mental health, both are very important. Okay. So not only the physical health, suppose in case a woman with child goes with the pregnancy and pregnancy to the term, complete the pregnancy and have a baby. In that case, whether the mental health of the woman that has also to be checked. Okay, whether she's comfortable with the baby or not. Okay, so that one part. And the physical is definitely relation to suppose a minor is pregnant. In that case, the physical health of the minor has to be checked. In this case, the A versus state of Maharashtra, that the case that you will get to see. In that case, the minor, okay, the 14-year-old minor has been pregnant. Okay, in that case, you understand the abortion can be very critical because the injection that is going to be pushed to stop the heartbeat of fetus, that injection might be detrimental to the health of the minor. Okay, minor के लिए problematic हो सकता है. So in that case, physical and mental, even minor के लिए mental health भी big challenge. The reason is 14-year-old, अगर वो उसको suppose you think, suppose she became pregnant, she ends the pregnancy with term, and she have a baby. She has a baby, and at the age of 15 she is a mother, so it's a totally different concept. You are understanding now. आप आपके सामने अगर आप 15 साल के हो, आप सोचो खुद ही, ओके, आप आपको कोई बोल रहा है you are mummy, papa, and all those things you are hearing. You are not probably accustomed with these things. You are not mentally mature to understand, or not mentally mature to accept the things. Okay, that's very important. Okay, so these two aspects have to be checked upon while talking about the good faith. Now, another thing, there is substantial risk if the child were born, it would suffer from any serious physical, mental, or abnormality. Now, in this case, suppose the child, okay, the child that is going to be born out of this pregnancy, okay, the risk has to be taken care of. The mitigating factor has to be checked. So, in दो मामलों में ये good faith, the registered medical practitioners, basically they are going to form the good faith, and then they carry out or they give the consent in relation to whether to carry out the termination of pregnancy or not. ठीक है, तो ये दोनों चीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है गुड फेथ को ये करने के लिए. नाउ शायद आप लोगों को समझ में आ चुका है रजिस्टर्ड मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर्स गुड फेथ में कब बेसिकली एक वुमेन को परमिशन दे सकता है टू टर्मिनेट हर प्रेगनेंसी. दैट्स वेरी गुड, वेरी फाइन. ओके, now next very important part that you need to understand in relation to, there are certain changes in 2021 amendment. 2021 amendment में कुछ changes हुए हैं. That is in relation to, there are certain categories of people in the rule 3b of MTP rules. Okay, there are certain categories of people that have been enlisted there, who have been basically given the permission in that case. Okay, suppose any woman with who have been sexually assaulted or raped, okay, kind of this kind of categories have been given, जिसके लिए आपको बेसिकली ये टर्मिनेशन ऑफ प्रेगनेंसी कैन बी वेरी वायबल ऑप्शन, वेरी वायबल ऑप्शन. सो रूल 3B को हम लोग थोड़ा देखते हैं टू अंडरस्टैंड द कैटेगरीज ऑफ पीपल दैट हैव बीन एन्यूमरेटेड देयर, कि उस कैटेगरीज में कौन कौन से लोग आ रहे हैं जो बेसिकली मेडिकल टर्मिनेशन ऑफ प्रेगनेंसी के अंदर आ रहे हैं. ठीक है, इसके बारे में थोड़ा बात करते हैं. ओके, एक मिनट, मैं आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर द रूल 3B विद यू ऑन द स्क्रीन. वेट अ मिनट. ओके, रूल 3B. अच्छा, वो if anyone having any query do let me know in the comment box. Okay, so far मैं रूल 3B आप लोगों के सामने शेयर करूंगा. रूल 3B ऑफ MTP, या रूल 3B का MTP रूल्स. Rule 3B of the MTP rules that is there. मैं आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करूंगा अभी Rule 3B of the MTP rules so that you will be able to understand better. Okay. Now, if you can see in the screen, I am sharing the Rule 3B with you. Okay. Now, Rule 3B, look at this. Rule 3B of the MTP amendment rules. इसमें कुछ बोला गया है. Okay. The following categories of women shall be considered eligible for termination pregnancy under clause B. Okay, survivors of sexual assault, minors, change of marital status during the ongoing pregnancy, women with physical disabilities, okay, mentally ill women, the fetal malformation that has substantial risk of being incompatible with life, women with pregnancy in humanitarian settings. So all those people have been enlisted there in Rule 3B of MTP. Rules 2003. So these are very important as well. Okay, so इसको भी आप लोगों को पढ़ना पड़ेगा. But one very important fact in the Rule 3B, okay, in the Rule 3B, one of the very important part is not mentioned here is unmarried woman. Okay, unmarried woman is not there. So in that case, one very important aspect that is to be understood, recently in Supreme Court case, एक केस हुआ था जिसमें unmarried women के बारे में पूछा गया कि unmarried woman is not going to get the medical termination. Well, yes, they can get it. Okay, so that is also become part of it by the Supreme Court judgment. But having said that, आज हम लोग के पास जो केस है उसके बारे में थोड़ा बात करते हैं. A versus State of Maharashtra. Now A versus State of Maharashtra, ये जो केस है इट्स रिलेटेड टू प्रेगनेंसी. नाउ ये प्रेगनेंसी थोड़ा simple yet difficult, it bit twisted is there, twisted facts are there, so I'm going to make you explain the things very easily. Okay, and in बहुत crisp way में मैं आपको आप लोगों को explain करूंगा so that you will be able to understand the thing. Okay, now let's look at the excellent. इस केस में बेसिकली क्या हुआ था, ठीक है, इफ वी टॉक अबाउट दिस केस, पर्टिकुलरली दिस केस ऑल टुगेदर, इस केस में अगर आप देखोगे the one very important factor that is there in relation, there is a minor, okay, a minor who became pregnant. Now the facts of the case goes like this, like a minor who has been basically sexually assaulted during the time of September of 2023, but she was not aware she has been sexually she was pregnant at that moment. Okay, she got to know about her pregnancy in the month of March. Okay, and when she got to know about the pregnancy, which is already more than 24 weeks, so you can understand, I told you the medical termination of pregnancy act. Okay, one very important concept is gestational weeks, that is the time period. Okay, now time period is in relation to the 24 weeks that I was talking about. So in this case 24 weeks have been already passed. Okay, 24 weeks is already passed, and as 24 weeks already passed, so there is a problem. Okay, there is a problem. As the 24 weeks already passed, the High Court said okay, there will not be any kind of termination of pregnancy because already past the 24 weeks, which is legislation permit. Okay, legislation उतना ही permit करता है, that has already been gone. But what the most important part that that is to be understood here in this case, I'm just sharing the screen with you. 1 second. Case खोल रहा हूँ so that you'll be able to understand better. Just opening the case itself in front of you. So in this case, A was a state of Maharashtra. Okay, A was a state of Maharashtra. If you see it, okay, this is a very interesting, fascinating case. I told you that particular minor was sexually assaulted in the September 2023. She didn't knew that she became pregnant that time, and after few months she got to know that she became pregnant. Now that is already more than 24 weeks. That is around 29 weeks. Now when she got to know, her mother basically went to High Court first to ask for the termination of pregnancy. High Court didn't give that. Then they approached the Apex Court. The Apex Court basically formed a medical board of a hospital. And when they found out the situation is this, though it's more than 29 weeks already passed. Okay, 29 weeks already passed. But medical board said as it's 14 years old minor, if the pregnancy is going to go for the full term and having a baby, that will be much more detrimental to the health of the minor rather than going through the termination of pregnancy right now. ठीक है, तो दोनों साइड में रिस्क है, बट अभी सबसे ज्यादा रिस्क इसमें हो सकता है अगर प्रेगनेंसी फुल टर्म में चला गया तो. So it's there. So for that 29 weeks में Supreme Court basically talked about go with the termination of pregnancy. Okay, that's Supreme Court order. But when Supreme Court ordered it, after 2 days, within 2 days, the mother of the minor changed their mind. They said, no, we want to go to with the pregnancy, we want to have a baby, and then we are going to give it to the charity. Charity in the sense, adoption के लिए दिया जाएगा. Okay. Now, in this relative adoption, okay. Now, here in this very important part is that the mother was pretty much volatile in relation to making decision. First, she approves the court, taking the decision, and then she basically retracted from the statement what she made earlier. And उनके बाद उन्होंने बोला कि देखिए हम लोग इसको प्रेगनेंसी को लेके जाना चाहते हैं, ठीक है. And the sole reason what her mother suggested is because the basically to terminate the pregnancy, there will be different kind of two or three injections to be pushed to the minor, okay, and that injection to basically stop the heartbeat of the fetus, and that injection is pretty much detrimental to the health of that particular minor, okay, and that's very risky. So they said, okay, it's better not to go with the major risk of that particular termination of pregnancy or abortion right now, rather than going with the term, have the baby and give the baby to the relatives. That will be pretty much healthier process, what they thought, though the risk is there in both the sides. So at the end of the Supreme Court retracted from their decision, whatever they have given earlier, and they changed the decision, gave it again. They allowed in relation to this particular lady, okay, उनके mother के हिसाब से दोबारा going ahead with the pregnancy. And the most important part is that Supreme Court basically saw the willingness of the mother and also willingness of the minor, and as the right to reproductive rights are pretty much associated with the woman with the child, उनके पास है, though it's in case the minor and the guardian both are agreeing to the fact going ahead with the pregnancy, okay, the Supreme Court basically allowed it, and they don't want to interfere within this particular right, and they said in this case कि देखो ये जो right है, right to reproductive, this right is pretty much gives choice to the woman with child, and in case of minor the guardian. So in this case they are suggesting to going ahead with the pregnancy, so let's go ahead with it. That's what we are the best for they are thinking about the best, so we are basically supporting them. So that's how they basically retracted. There is a two judgment that have been given, and that's why it's a very interesting judgment. When you read, it's not a big judgment. I have shared with you, I've shared with the law with already, okay. So hope you are able to understand in this case, okay. Do let me know in the comment box if you have any query. Otherwise, I have already communicated each and everything with you, okay. And it's a very important and interesting case. Not a big one, but sometimes the big cases, the important cases doesn't need to be the big one, okay. So abortion laws के बारे में बता दिया. And next week मैं दूसरे केस के बारे में बताऊंगा, ठीक है. See you next week talking about the another stuff. Until then, see you. And the most important part, if you haven't subscribed to the Telegram channel, do subscribe to the Telegram channel, okay. जहाँ पर हर दिन most important MCQs and आपके legal news have been updated there, तो आपके लिए बहुत आसान हो जाएगा preparation, ठीक है. And there are free courses available on the website. Do check it out. You'll be able to understand and get a lot of free stuff there, ठीक है. चलो, thank you. See you again. Have a great night. See you again.